Good morning. This is the Reverend Ian Smith speaking, and I'm speaking to you from my office just prior to Palm Sunday 2020. Palm Sunday for the church is a significant day because it's the beginning of the last week of our Lord Jesus Christ's life here on earth. It's a day when he walks into Jerusalem and he makes a statement about peace and justice and hope. It's a statement where instead of riding on a significant war animal, he rides a humble donkey. Instead of coming in refined clothes, he comes in his own clothes, and those on the streets who recognise what's happening put their garments and branches, etc. It's also a day when we remember the message of Jesus, which is that we are to be people who care deeply for one another, that we care intently for the other. We seek the best in the other, as he sought the best in all people. On the wall behind me is a picture painted by a family friend. It was painted in the aftermath of the wall coming down in Berlin. The artist was captured by a newsreel from the BBC in which, in the fleeting 20 seconds that the photographer watched as people streamed through the opening wall in the Berlin Wall, the opening, she saw this fleeting glimpse of a man, a dad carrying his new child, crossing from that which was darkness into light, with all the hope and the potential and the possibility. Today, I want to encourage us as we gather to recognise that for many, many people that are on Manus or Nauru or are here in Australia on temporary visas, they live without the freedoms and the hopes. They live without the possibilities that so many of us live with. Palm Sunday is a moment for us to stop and remember how privileged we are in Australia. Most of us in Australia live within the top 10% of the world in terms of access to education, health, finance, travel, doing whatever we want and reaching whatever level of potential we choose to. And yet the same country that is so powerful, so privileged, so wealthy in so many ways, chooses to live and enact laws that are so inhumane that people who are some of the most vulnerable people in the world are denied the very basics of human life. They are locked up. They are made stateless. They are sent to places that are inhumane, simply because some people in our community decide they're not the people we want in our land. The story of Easter, the story of Palm Sunday for the Christian church, is a story that says all people are valuable. All people need to be cared for. And it's incumbent on all of us in Australia to so live that we build a strong, healthy, just and economic society that looks after the marginalised, cares for the poor, brings into the conversations those who feel isolated and marginalised. I think it's fitting that this Palm Sunday falls in the midst of what we're calling the COVID-19 crisis. Many people that I talk to over Zoom or Skype or by email are saying how difficult it is to live because they're homebound. They just can't go and do what they want to do whenever. It seems to me that this moment is a moment of enlightenment for us as a society. Surely in this moment when we are feeling deprived, we are feeling isolated, we are lacking that human touch, we can extend that to think of those people who came seeking refuge within our world, but found us inhospitable. We weren't good neighbours. they now feel isolated in ways that are far more reprehensive than we will ever feel, because we can't get a packet of tissues, or we can't get a packet of toilet paper, or we can't go and have our avocado smash for Sunday morning brekkie because our cafe's closed. This is a real wake-up call for Australia. We need to be treating everybody, the most marginalised and the most vulnerable, as we would want to be treated. And so on this Palm Sunday, I encourage us all, let's become peacemakers, peace builders. Let us work towards a society that truly honours and respects all people. Thank you.